and it's a rather significant injury. You have to go in and put screws, and I think maybe even a plate. I'm not positive about the plate, but I think screws. It's what Fabian had a couple years ago. So it's, he's got a long road to recovery, but he's got the right attitude. And, I talked to him last night and just emphasized to him that even though he's not going to be on the field, his role as a leader on this team does not diminish at all. It's important for him to be in the locker room and be in the meeting rooms and be around these guys because he does have a lot of real positive influence.
How's Austin Roberts different stylistically than Caleb as a tight end?
Well, he's not quite as tall or heavy, not far off in terms of the body weight, but they're both really good route runners and their matchup problems. Caleb has a little more height, but I think Josh, has a lot of confidence in Austin as well, and he's shown to be a very capable guy. So I'm excited to see him step up, and Jordan Wilson's role will certainly increase, and Jimmy Jagger's role could increase, and Moses Robinson-Carr's role is going to increase. So, those guys will fill in capably. We'll miss Caleb, obviously, but, the next guy will have to step up and do a great job.
How's Theo Howard doing in his route back to getting, let's say, more snaps in a game?
He's doing okay. I mean, with Theo, the key is number one, he's got to know what to do. Number two, he's got to do it full speed, and he's got to show great effort, and he's got to be consistent. He's certainly talented, but he's young, and he's just moving through some of those growing pains. I'm impressed with the way that he's handled, the fact that his playing time was cut down a little bit because, he was struggling, and it's not unusual for that to happen at times. So the great thing about Theo, though, is his attitude. He never sulks. He just comes out and he works harder. And he's getting it. He's starting to really get it. We see great, flashes of really, really special things with him. And then, like all young players, you see some inconsistency. So as he builds consistency, you'll see more play time and you'll see more production.
For scouting purposes, is it good to see the team you just played play the team you're going to play next, or does that not matter at all?
You know what? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Colorado's much different than we are, both offensively and defensively. So it doesn't really matter. It wasn't fun to see, the quarterback rush for 327 yards, but it doesn't make that much of a difference.
What's your kind of early take on Arizona and what their challenges they present?
Well, they, number one, they go fast on offense. They spread the field. Their quarterbacks are very capable throwers, but they're great runners. Defensively, they run that 3-3-5, and they're good at it, and they attack and they pressure and they come. They don't always pressure with more than four, but they bring guys from different angles. So you could call it a pressure, you could call it a four-man rush, but it's just deciphering who's coming. And they're playing at home. They're coming off of a really good win. It's a big Pac-12 South matchup, and so we've got to be prepared. We'll have a great week of practice, and we'll be ready to go Saturday night.
How much does what Khalil Tate did Saturday night, how does that change your defensive approach?
It doesn't, because Dawkins was doing the same thing, and I don't know who will play, and I doubt they'll tell us. But both of them are similar in style. They're capable passers and they're excellent runners, and they do a good job of staying alive as passers before they run, so they hold you in coverage. So they're really not going to change what they do. They do what they do, and those guys are very similar. So it won't change a lot. We have to make sure we handle the quarterback.
Angus was saying before the Colorado game that maybe some of the metrics about getting pressure on the quarterback were not reflected in the number of sacks that you're getting. What's your thought on the pressure you're getting on the quarterback? Is it adequate? How much, if not, how much does it need to improve?
It needs to improve a lot. But it's hard to play these running quarterbacks because it tempers your ability to just turn it loose and go. Because if you create escape lanes, you're really going to pay for it. So you have to rush in a certain way, and if you rush in a certain way, then you're capable of getting sacks, And so we just got to make sure that we're very disciplined in the way we rush this guy, and that we keep our eyes on him, and that we're able to get off blocks. And I say this guy, whichever guy it is. So it's a heck of a challenge. We only have 9 sacks through 5 games. That's not enough. So we've got to do a better job there. And I think what's important is the defensive line understands and the rushers understand when we're pressuring that there's a certain design to each pressure to hopefully get a guy free or get a guy a man advantage. And that doesn't mean that everyone can't be aggressive, but not everybody's meant to get the sack on every play, and you have to know your role.
We've seen Martin Andrus. How is Greg Rogers doing in terms of working
Good.
through that scheme?
He's doing well. He hasn't played yet. You know, if we can keep him as a red shirt, we'd like to. You know, he's working some with the scout team and he's working some with the defense, but he gives us a big body. You know, both he and Martin give us big guys inside, and we need big guys inside, and those are big guys inside. So, you know, we're ready to play either if we have to. Martin obviously is playing quite a bit, you know, and he's playing the nose. Greg plays more of the 3 technique. He's not really a nose, so but he's got a promising future.
What does Chigozi have to do just to finally get home?
You mean get a sack?
Yeah.
Well, he's beat people, as you've seen. I mean,
Yes.
you know, he's a really good inside pass rusher, and especially on nose. But you know, we worked hard on it last week. Is when you do come clear, understanding who you're trying to sack. Is it a statue quarterback or is it a mobile quarterback? When it's a mobile quarterback, you've got to be able to break down and move laterally, know where your help is, and take the proper leverage angle as you try to sack the guy. If it's a statue guy, then you can try to run right through him. So it's just understanding that. You know, Goze's so new to the sport. He really is. He hadn't played a lot of football, and he's doing a tremendous job in a lot of areas, but he'll keep improving as he gets more reps, you know. And hopefully, you know, when it comes, it comes in bunches for him.
Last question.
One issue that's kind of come up every Sunday that you don't have to deal with is the national anthem situation.
Yeah.
You guys are in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you're glad you don't have to deal with? Has there been discussion among guys saying that they would have liked to have been out there to voice their opinion one way or the other?
I haven't heard one of our players mention anything. No one's mentioning to me, and I haven't heard much talk about it. So yeah, it's not really, you know, on our radar right now. And you know, like you said, we're in the locker room, and I'm sure that everybody has their own opinion and their own take on it. And I think it's important to respect everybody's opinion and everybody's take. And we try to do that here at UCLA in a very educational way. You know, we're all about freedom of speech and freedom of expression, but we're also about respecting our country and respecting our military. You know, my personal opinion is that kneeling when they're playing the national anthem doesn't necessarily mean that you're being disrespectful to the flag nor to the military. I think that you know, people find ways to make statements. That's what this country is about and has always been about. And I think we have to respect each other. And I know that our young men, if they were given that opportunity, would be very respectful.
Thank you.
That's her.